Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Federal Communications Commission Disability Advisory Committee meeting. We're going to go ahead and get started now at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. My name is Isidore Nyangabo, and we will open today with Alejandro Rourke, who is Chief of the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau. Over to you to kick off the meeting.
Hi, Amy. Thank you. Well, welcome to our fourth meeting of this term's Disability Advisory Committee. While this meeting is still being held virtually, I really do hope that one day soon we'll be able to meet in person, and I appreciate your commitment to disability issues during such unprecedented times. I'd like to take a moment actually to recognize today's meeting occurs during the Helen Keller Deafblind Awareness Week, which runs from June 26th through July 2nd. This year's focus is diversity and inclusion. Creativity and innovation are built upon a diverse group of perspectives. The Disability Advisory Committee is a prime example of the progress that can be made when a diverse group of stakeholders have a forum in which to freely exchange ideas about the accessible communications issues. Your efforts can and do lead to creative solutions that enhance accessibility for all. I'm delighted that we'll be able to address during today's meeting an important service that the FCC provides to consumers, the Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP for short. The ACP helps ensure that households can afford the broadband they need for work, school, healthcare, and more. Lyle Ishida, Chief of the Consumer Affairs and Outreach Division with the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau, will share more details about ACP and how you can be a valuable partner to ensure that everyone can benefit from this critical program that can benefit individuals with disabilities and their families. The Disability Advisory Committee is a vital source of stakeholder input for the Commission, and your work advances the public interest. Thank you all for your involvement in this critical endeavor. And I also want to take this moment to recognize DAC co-chairs, Isidore Nyangabo and Brian Scarpelli, as well as IP Captioning Files Working Group Chair, Kyle Dixon. I also want to acknowledge the leadership of our entire team in the Disability Rights Office. Their work not only informs the policies of our Bureau or the FCC, but the telecommunications ecosystem as a whole. Thank you all for your time, for your talent, for your effort, and for sharing your afternoon with us. And it is now my pleasure to turn the mic over to Diane Burstein, Deputy Bureau Chief for CGB. Diane, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. Greetings, everyone. It's really wonderful to see you all, although I do miss seeing you all in person. Someday soon, I hope. It's been a while since we've had an opportunity for each organization to provide some highlights about their ongoing work in the disability space, and I look forward to learning more about that this afternoon. In addition, you'll hear from some of DRO leadership about recent FCC actions to advance accessibility. I'd like to echo Alejandro's thanks to you all for your time and energy devoted to these issues. I'd also like to thank the co-chairs of the DAC and the chair of the working group, as well as the commission staff who work hard to make this meeting possible. Susie Rosen-Singleton, Chief of the Disability Rights Office, the designated federal officer, Josh Mendelson, Deputy DFO, Will Shell, and Disability Rights Office staff, Robert McConnell and Ivy Davis, media relations staff, Gerard Williams, and the interpreters and captioners, and many more. So have a great afternoon, and with that, I'll turn it back to Isidore.
Thank you, Diane. Next, I would like to call Joshua Mendelson, who is our DAC designated federal officer, our DFO, to go ahead and explain some of the rules we will follow during this meeting. Thank you, Isidore. This is Josh. Hello, everyone. I am Joshua Mendelson. I am the DAC designated federal officer, the DFO. I'd like to take just a few minutes here to take care of some housekeeping and rules that we'll be following here. I know you've heard these over and over again multiple times, but I will try to be concise. To maximize screen space and to minimize distractions, we're asking that only the speaker be on video and unmuted so that we only have one person at a time. Only one person should have the floor at any given time. And if you want to raise your hand, please do so by using Zoom's hand raising feature. Or if you are calling into this meeting, go ahead and say that you have a question and we'll put you in queue. Please don't turn on your video or unmute yourself until the chair recognizes and calls on you. Please identify yourself, saying this is Josh Mendelson, for example, before your remarks. Please do remember to speak slowly and take a pause, which will help effective communication throughout the meeting. When you're finished, please don't forget to lower your hand, turn off your video, and mute yourself. If you don't do so, those of us who have co-host functionalities, will be able to do so for you. During roll call, and also later on during the organization highlights section, one of the DAC co-chairs, either Brian or Isidore, will call on the organization's name. Then the primary representative, or if they are out, one of the alternative representatives can come on screen, introduce themselves, say that they're present here for the organization during roll call, or later during the highlights, go ahead and give their updates. Once finished, please do remember to turn your video off and mute yourself. This meeting is open to the public. It is currently live streamed to fcc.gov/live and also to the FCC's YouTube channel. Public participation is welcome, and because this is in a virtual format, we welcome questions through email, which can be contacted at livequestions@fcc.gov. We will have time at the end of this meeting to address these comments. Again, those emails will be going to FCC staff who are working diligently behind the scenes to make this meeting a success. All right, that's enough from me. We'll go ahead and move on with this meeting. And I would like to call on one of the two DAC co-chairs, Isidore Niangabo. Hi, this is Isidore. Hello, thank you everyone. To introduce myself, I am Isidore Niangabo. I am one of the DAC co-chairs, and I would like to invite my fellow co-chair, Brian Scarpelli, to begin roll call.
Excellent. Thank you, Isidore. Thanks, everyone, and welcome. Appreciate everyone being here for another DAC meeting. So for the roll call, I'll be looking at the Zoom roster as well, and going by organization in alphabetical order. We're trying to keep things moving here. So the idea is that just one person for each org should indicate that they're present. We don't need to necessarily go into names and titles. So with that, let's start the roll call. First is ACT, the App Association. That's my org. I'm here. Next is the American Council for the Blind.
The American Council of the Blind is here. This is Clark Rockfall.
Thanks. American Foundation for the Blind. Oh, I apologize. I believe they indicated that they're unable to attend today. Okay, and they actually have an update for us to share for them later. Okay. Apple Incorporated.
Hi, this is James Craig from Apple.
Wonderful, thank you. The ARC.
Hi, this is Katie Schmid from the ARC.
Great. AT&T.
Hi, Linda Vanderloop, AT&T.
Wonderful, thanks. Bridge Multimedia Corporation.
Hi, Matt Kaplowitz. Good to be here with you, Bridge Multimedia.
Cerebral Palsy and Deaf Organization. No, okay. City of Boston.
College Boston Disability Office.
Wonderful, thanks. Clear Captions.
Hi, everybody. Michael Strecker with Clear Captions.
Comcast Corporation and NBC Universal Media.
Hi, all. This is Angela Ball from NBC Universal.
Great. Communication Service for the Deaf.
Good afternoon, everyone. Julie Robinson with CSD.
Consumer Technology Association.
Hey, everyone. David Grossman for the Consumer Technology Association.
Great. Convo Communications.
Hello, this is Amanda with Convo.
CTIA, the Wireless Association.
Hi, everybody. Kara Graves with CTIA. Good to be here.
Great. Deafblind Citizens in Action.
Yes, hello, this is Divya Goyal here.
DeCapta.
Hello, this is Judy Matthews with DeCapta. Buenas tardes. Good to be here.
Excellent. Hamilton Relay.
Good afternoon. This is Beth Slow with Hamilton Relay.
Hearing Loss Association of America.
Hi, everyone. This is Lisa Hamlin with Hearing Loss Association of America.
Wonderful. IBM.
Hi, this is Mary Jo Mueller with IBM.
Great. Mesmo.
Hi, everyone. This is Christina with Caption, Mesmo Corporation.
Apologies. Thank you, Christina. National Association for State Relay Administration, NASRA.
Hello, this is Travis. I'm here.
Great. National Association of Broadcasters.
This is Josh Pila for National Association of Broadcasters.
National Association of the Deaf.
Hello, this is Zainab with NAD.
Great. National Black Deaf Advocates.
Hello, I am here.
National Emergency Number Association.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Richard Ray with the National Emergency Numbering Association. Good afternoon.
Excellent. National Federation of the Blind.
Hi, this is Everett Bacon with the National Federation of the Blind.
Great. NCTA, the Internet and Television Association.
Hi, this is Kyle Dixon for NCTA.
Great. Perkins School for the Blind.
Hello, I'm Kristen Lee from Perkins School for the Blind.
Thanks. Sorensen Communications.
Hello, this is Mike Maddox with Sorensen. Happy to be here today.
Great. TDI, Telecommunications for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing.
Hey, Blake Reed at Colorado Law here for TDI.
Thanks. T-Mobile.
Hi, good afternoon. Shelley Blakeney here for T-Mobile.
Okay, Trace Research and Development Center.
Hello, this is Baron Jordan from the Trace Research and Development Center.
Great. Verizon Communications. No. Okay. ZP Better Together.
Hello, this is Mark Stern representing ZP Better Together. Good to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe we are not doing the ex officio members in the roll call during this meeting. If I'm incorrect, please step in, FCC staff. I'm happy to do it, but I think that concludes.
Please go ahead. Go ahead and call the ex officio members during roll call.
Understood. Okay. Sorry, my mix up there. U.S. Access Board.
Hi, Bruce Bailey, United States Access Board, and Tim Cregan, my colleagues, sends his best regards.
Thank you. U.S. Department of Education, Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services.
Hello, everyone. This is Brianne Berger. I am here. So good to see everyone.
Thank you. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Administration for Community Living.
Hello, this is Lisa with ACL. Good afternoon, everyone.
Great. And finally, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency.
Hello, this is Erin Kuby representing FEMA. Good afternoon, everyone.
Great. Well, okay, that concludes the roll call. My apologies there for my mix up there in the process. Thanks everyone for being here. I think next I need to call on Lyle to discuss the Affordable Connectivity program.
Aloha Awinala. Good and pleasant good afternoon to all of you. To DAC co-chairs Dion Gabo and Scarpelli, to honorable members of the DAC, to Josh Mendelson, our DFO, to a colleague and friend, Susie Rosen-Singleton, Chief of the Disability Rights Office at FCC, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lyle Ishida. I serve as the Chief of the Consumer Affairs and Outreach Division here at FCC, and I work for Alejandro Rourke, who you've just met earlier during the introduction. My pronouns are he and him. I sit before you, a medium-build, middle-aged Asian man, sporting a smile, because it's a pleasure to brief all of you on the Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP. I'm going to split this presentation into two parts. The first is a quick overview about the program, its target audience, its benefits to qualifying households, and how households or their members can apply and benefit from the ACP. And then the second part of the conversation we want to have is to introduce the tools to deputize all of you to supercharge awareness of the program using your existing contacts and your influence to help low-income households within the disability community. Because each of you is already a leader in the telecom and accessibility space, I'm going to go over the program details rather quickly with an offer. If I breeze past too many details too quickly, please email me at Lyle, L-Y-L-E, .ishida, I-S-H-I-D-A, at fcc.gov, and I'll arrange a personal briefing for you and any of your colleagues. In addition, while we're on this topic, this presentation has a number of email addresses and web page URLs contained within it. Don't worry about having to write anything down as I'm speaking, because I forwarded these talking points to your DFO, and you can get them from Josh after the meeting. So, the Affordable Connectivity Program was created in Congress as part of the 2021 Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill. the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. It appropriated over $14 billion to support low-income households and provides an up to $30 discount on their monthly broadband bill, or for households within the external boundaries of federally recognized tribal lands, that discount is up to $75 per month. Some providers are participating in a carrier optional program to provide up to $100 discount on the purchase of a desktop or laptop computer as well from the provider if consumers contribute between $10 and $50 toward the purchase. Qualification standards are pretty straightforward. Households can qualify if any member participates in any one of a number of public assistance programs: SNAP, Medicaid, Federal Public Housing Assistance Program, the National School Lunch or School Breakfast Program, WIC, Lifeline are just some of the programs which grant approval for ACP. If anyone in the household has received a Pell Grant in the current school year, or if a household earns up to 200% of the poverty rate, these are other qualifying criteria. For more information on qualifications, visit fcc.gov/ACP. Beyond just financial support for monthly broadband bills, the ACP also provides for consumer protections, which are new when compared to its predecessor, the Emergency Broadband Benefit. These protections include empowering consumers to choose the service plan that best meets their needs, including maybe a plan that they're already on. Ensuring consumers have access to supported broadband services regardless of their credit status. Prohibiting providers from excluding consumers with past due balances or prior debt from enrolling in the program. Preventing consumers from being forced into more expensive or lower quality plans in order to receive the ACP benefit. Reducing the potential for bill shock and other financial harms. Allowing ACP recipients to switch providers or broadband service offerings, and providing a dedicated FCC process to adjudicate ACP complaints. Now, applying is easy as well. The URL is www.affordableconnectivity.gov, and that's a great bookmark for your browsers. The How to Apply tab at the top of the page will spell out the 3 options for applying. You can apply online, via mail, the US Postal System, or potentially via your local internet provider. So, we invite people like you, leaders in your community and your entities, to join the movement to spread information awareness about ACP throughout every corner of our nation. There are a number of ways to help you communicate about the program throughout your circles of contacts. Our friends at the Universal Service Administrative Company, USAC, hosts a really good outreach toolkit and quick start guide at www.affordableconnectivity.gov/community-resources. That toolkit includes handouts, brochures, flyers, social media content for you to use free of charge. And we ask that you spread the word about the great materials contained within the toolkit, again, within your networks. I'd also want to take a second to pitch a great new tool for anyone who is seeking to build a page within your suite of pages to detail ACP to its membership clients or partners. The ACP pre-screening widget is what it's called. This interactive widget includes questions that a consumer can answer to determine if they qualify for ACP and presents next steps based on the responses. This is free. To add the ACP pre-screening widget to your website, email acprogram@usac.org with the subject line ACP widget for technical support. And in the email, please include the web address that you plan to use to host the widget. So as of June 6th, there were 12 million households enrolled in the ACP. But collectively, we can do better. And I say we, because each of us, you and I, we are in the same boat and we're driving toward the same destination. Whether part of the disability community or a dedicated ally, we do work in our respective lanes because we are individually and collectively working toward an equal and just world. And in terms of things touched by our FCC, the ACP is an active and important part of the Commission's Equity Action Plan. So let's work together. My division runs the ACP Speakers Program, where we have done over 250 ACP virtual presentations in the last month. We offer our services and assistance in helping build awareness to others in your organizations, memberships, among your affiliates, and in your community, in your churches, in your soccer team that you coach. We're here to spread the word, and we'd love to work with you. So partner with us on joint events. Let us supply your local outreach event with flyers printed and mailed to you at no cost in different languages and in accessible formats. Working together, we can collectively and significantly move the ball forward on this critical program. And with that, and pending any further questions, again, I thank the honored membership and leadership of the DAC for this opportunity to speak to you today. Have a great day.
Apologies there. Technical snag. I think I should thank you for that, Lyle. First of all, great information. Appreciate the update. Extremely important efforts that the commission has and that you're running. So we appreciate that update. And I do encourage folks to get in touch with Lyle if they want more information or want to partner. So I think I should turn it over to you, Isidore, next.
Okay, great. This is Isidore. Thank you. So next, I would like to invite up Susie Rosen Singleton, who is the chief of the Disability Rights Office. And I would like to invite up Elliot Greenwald as well. And they have a wonderful update for all of us. Hello, Susie. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, and thank you for that introduction. I am Susie Rosen Singleton. I will explain about myself briefly. I am a Caucasian woman with blonde shoulder-length hair. I have a black shirt on with a red jacket and a blue background. It really is an honor to be here to share the work that we're doing at the Commission in regards to accessibility. So I'm pleased to share with you a few highlights of what has happened since February. You already heard from the Chief of the Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau, Alejandro Rourke, that this week is the Helen Keller Deaf-Blind Awareness Week, which runs from June 26th to July 2nd. And so I'll start off by highlighting and shining a spotlight on the National Deaf-Blind Equipment Distribution Program, also called the NDB-EDP or ICANN Connect. That is a flagship program which provides about $10 million annually to support 56 state and territorial programs to provide equipment needed to make telecommunications, advanced communication services, and the internet accessible to low-income individuals who are deafblind. On May 17th, the Commission released a public notice announcing the entities certified to participate in the NDB-EDP for the next 5-year cycle. That cycle starts July 1st, 2022 and runs through June 30th of 2027. On the next day, we also released a public notice please share this information about the program with your communities, and more information is available at www.fcc.gov/ndbedp, or you can go to icanconnect.org. Another important event, commemorative event, is coming up soon, which I just want to say early happy 32nd anniversary to the Americans with Disabilities Act. That's coming up on July 26th. With that, I will go ahead and move on to different events as far as public engagement. We had a public forum, as well as some of our policy work. Since February, we have hosted 2 events with stakeholders. On March 28th, the Commission hosted a video programming accessibility forum focused on online audio description. This forum took a look at how to enhance the availability and accessibility of video programming with audio descriptions, voluntary actions to promote online audio descriptions. And that webcast is archived at www.fcc.gov. On their audio description page. On May 25th, the Commission hosted a 3rd in a series of virtual public hearings as part of its broadband consumer labels rulemaking proceeding. The hearings were held to assess how consumers evaluate internet service plans and whether current disclosures of service plans are sufficient. The 3rd hearing included a fireside chat about how to ensure 2 things: how to ensure that the broadband labels themselves are accessible to persons with disabilities, and how those labels should be formulated so that they include the appropriate accessible information for persons with disabilities. Those were our 2 major events. As far as policy work, first, I want to start off by saying that April 27th, we released a public notice seeking comment on how to access interoperable video conferencing. That is to refresh the record. And the cycle closes on July 18th, coming up pretty soon. Another item that we're seeking comment on is about the state of competition in the communications marketplace. On May 16th, the FCC released a public notice seeking comment on the state of competition in the communications marketplace in order to prepare for the Commission's 2022 Communications Marketplace report to Congress. There were numerous questions about accessibility in the item. So, for example, what is the impact of innovation on accessibility? Criteria and metrics, what can be used to evaluate the impact of the pandemic and accessibility and affordability of wireless services? And also the provision of video and audio programming to persons with disabilities. The comment cycle will close on August 1st. And on that note, we do have another congressional report that we are seeking comment about. We just released a public notice on June 22nd, seeking comment on the Commission's tentative findings for the 21st Century Communications and Video Accessibility Act, the CVAA. That biennial report to Congress is due in October. The deadline for your comments is August 8th. But to clarify, the tentative findings that are within the document recognize commenters' issues around accessibility and usability of equipment and services, subject to the CVAA rules. In the extent of inclusion of people with disabilities on companies' product and service design and development processes. What barriers are for accessibility? Currently, there is a lot of discussion about video conferencing accessibility and telehealth. And various complaints that were handled and EB decisions as well, which is our enforcement bureau. So that will close on August 8th. The final thing that I would like to share with you all has to do with eliminating digital discrimination. On March 17th, the Commission released a Notice of Inquiry, an NOI, seeking comment on implementing Section 60506 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the IIJA. That section 60506 adopts as policy of the United States that the, quote, Commission should take steps to ensure that all people of the United States benefit from equal access to broadband internet access service. Among other things, Section 60506 directs the Commission to adopt final rules to, quote, facilitate equal access to broadband, and also to prevent, quote, digital discrimination of access to broadband based on income level, race, ethnicity, color, religion, or national origin. The Commission is seeking comment on whether those characteristics are sufficient or should it be broadened to include age, disability, or level of English proficiency. The comment period for that will close soon on June 30th. I'm pleased to share that the Commission's Digital Discrimination Task Force recently added a representative from the Disability Rights Office on their panel. Before I close, I wanted to take a moment to remind you all that on July 16th, we have rules that go into effect in regards to text to 988. The Commission recognizes that texting can be the preferred method of communication for at-risk populations, including individuals with disabilities. For more information, please visit the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Their website is available at https://suicidepreventionlifeline.org. We are working closely with HHS, Health and Human Services, and the Veterans Administration, the VA, to coordinate on a launch effort on July 16th. For those who are watching online, you can find all of this information by going to our website, www.fcc.gov/accessibility, and signing up for access info at fcc.gov for our listserv. Now I will go ahead and turn it over to my colleague, Elliot Greenwald, the DRO Deputy Chief, to discuss recent activities in the telecommunications relay services space, TRS. And we look forward to answering any questions you may have after Elliot completes his report.
Okay, thank you, Susie. This is Elliot Greenwald speaking. I'm one of the deputy chiefs of the Disability Rights Office. And just to give you some updates on TRS activity since the time of the last DAC meeting, we released 2 public notices seeking comment on applications to provide IPCTS. On March 14th, one from Roger Voice, and on April 7th, one from Global Caption. On March 23rd, we granted applications from Sorensen and Caption Call to and gave them conditional certification to provide VRS and IPCTS respectively under the ownership and control of Ariel. On March 25th, we extended the pandemic waivers through June 30th. On April 20th, we granted conditional authority to Hamilton to provide IPCTS using ASR only, in addition to its CA, communications assistant, CA assisted IPCTS. On May 16th, we issued a public notice seeking comment on the contribution factors and proposed contribution factors and proposed compensation formulas for the analog interstate components of the state TRS services. On June 24th, just last week, we issued a public notice reminding TRS providers to file their complaint log summaries by July 1st. And finally, on June 6th, 3 TRS items were placed on circulation for a commission vote. I'm happy to report that all 3 have very recently been adopted, and we hope to be able to get out the release, we hope to be able to release those items very soon. One item adopts a new compensation formula for IP relay. Another one addresses some of the issues that have arisen regarding pandemic waivers related to VRS, including CAs working from home and calls from abroad to the United States. And the third one addresses the contribution base for VRS and IP relay. And now I'll turn the floor back to Isidore, or to Brian, whoever is going to take it next.
Thank you, Susie and Elliot. Really do appreciate your updates. Next, I would like to welcome Kyle Dixon to give us an update in regards to the internet protocol for captioning file transmission for your working group.
Hi, everyone. Kyle Dixon from NCTA. To describe myself, I'm a middle-aged African-American man with a very gray beard and a very bald head and glasses. I'm actually seen in the background. You can see I'm calling from my den. I'm had a COVID exposure. I'm fine, but you know how that goes nowadays. In terms of the update on the working group, as some of you know, I inherited the role of chair of this working group about 3 months ago, just after joining NCTA from Warner Brothers Discovery, then Warner Media. And our 2 major initiatives in the working group have been, first, to have a series of speakers related to the topic of closed captioning with the full working group, as well as to stand up what I call a drafting subcommittee of the willing, who is working, or who are working hard to pull together a draft for review by the full working group. In terms of the first initiative, we had a number of meetings featuring speakers from Comcast, NBCU, Apple, YouTube, and Bridge Multimedia. And as a reminder, the scope of the group, of the working group, was to first identify issues and best practices associated with the delivery and receipt of captioning files for full-length programming distributed online. And secondly, to suggest solutions to increase the amount of caption programming online. So in light of those two goals, this drafting subcommittee of the willing has volunteered quite a bit of time in addition to the full working group meetings to try to pull together a draft. The members who volunteered for that drafting subcommittee include Apple, Bridge Multimedia, Comcast NBCU, DeCapta, NAB, and NCTA. And our approach thus far has been to focus pretty heavily on drilling down into the complexities of the captioning ecosystem and the sort of technical and operational details regarding that. And next, we are moving into the potential organizational and technical challenges and the opportunities to address some of those challenges. So I don't want to get in front of the drafting subcommittee's deliberations by getting into more detail, but we are making really good progress. The goal is still to get the full closed captioning working group a draft by next Thursday for purposes of their consideration, getting their additional input and feedback and expertise, such that we're in a good position toward the end of July, ideally, to have something to work with for consideration by the full Disabilities Advisory Committee. So once again, would love to thank all of the members of the working group, in particular, Apple, Bridge Multimedia, Comcast NBCU, DeCapta, and NAB for all of the time and effort that they put into really trying to understand an area that is exceedingly complex. And we look forward to continuing to move the ball forward on this important issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle, for that update. I think we've been moving along pretty quickly. However, at the same time, I noticed that we did want to see if anybody has questions for Kyle. If you do have a question, you can go ahead and raise your hand in Zoom. Okay, I don't see any hands raised, so we will go ahead and move on then. I guess we will have an early break here for the next 5 minutes. And we will be back at 1:54. 1:55, let's say. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you again for being a part of this June 28th, 2022 FCC Disability Advisory Committee meeting. We're resuming after a short break. My name is Brian Scarpelli. I'm with ACT, the App Association. It's my org, and I'm one of the co-chairs. So let's get back into it. Our next agenda item is for DAC member organizations to share some highlights. So the thought here is that we'll call on each organization to give one or two accessibility related highlights. We're trying to keep this short, not go on too long. So the request is that we aim for 1.5 minutes or so and not exceed 2 minutes for each organizational update. Also, just want to make a quick reminder to the public watching this stream that they can submit any questions or comments for public participation to livequestions@fcc.gov, livequestions@fcc.gov. 1 minute. I just, sorry about that. We're asking people to keep it to 1 minute. 1 minute update. 60-second update, please. So we can go again, like the roll call, we can go in alphabetical order, which funny enough puts ACT, the App Association, first. But that's fortuitous, because maybe I can help by just giving kind of an example of what we're looking for here. I can very briefly just mention the App Association. You know, we're very, first of all, I'm personally, and also my organization is very excited about being able to engage with you all through the FCC's Disability Advisory Committee. And for us, that's been a very important part of our interactions on disability access over the years. I think that it's been raised already before, but within that space, I think that there's for us a very clear linkage to priorities of diversity and inclusion. I think for the startup and software development and connected device, like Internet of Things, connected device space, it represents an incredible means of empowerment for everyone, for all different types of people, and empowerment for those using the services and tools, but also for those developing them. So we've been looking at working with different organizations, perhaps to develop proactive best practices about accessibility by design and emerging technologies. That's one highlight or two from myself, and I'll probably stop there. Next, I just want to make sure here. Next would be the American Council of the Blind. Would you all like to go next? ACB? They may have. Okay. Well, we can come back to ACB, but the next, just going alphabetically, the next organization is the American Foundation for the Blind, who, while not here, provided us with a brief written update for us to share. So I can do that right now. The American Foundation for the Blind has been focused on digital accessibility as a core component of digital equity, along with broadband and device access and digital literacy. AFB has been particularly concerned about the accessibility of education platforms, including those that provide means of electronic text and video communications. AFB is also concerned about the prevalence of accessibility barriers in accessing telehealth. For that reason, AFB is glad the FCC is revising its proceeding on interoperable video conferencing systems. Barriers to these types of critical and specialized communications platforms present unique challenges to people who are blind, have low vision, or are deafblind, but they are far from the only digital products that are problematic. AFB believes that when we address digital equity, we must include accessibility and continue to work with partners to that end. That's the update they provided. So next would be Apple. Can I turn it over to to you, I think, James.
Hi, thank you. My name is James Craig. I'm the Accessibility Standards Manager for Apple. My pronouns are he, him, and I'd like to thank the Commission for this opportunity to briefly share two of our recent projects. As many of you know, Apple embeds accessibility into every aspect of our work, and we are committed to designing the best products and services for everyone. This year on Global Accessibility Awareness Day, we introduced a number of new features that will be released, accessibility features that will be released this fall, including door detection within Magnifier, one of Apple's built-in features supporting the blind and low vision community. It uses the camera, so you can either, the camera of an iPhone, so you can either set it in your pocket or hold it in front of you. Door detection can help users locate a door upon arriving at a new destination, understand how far away they are from it, because it uses the LiDAR sensor, and describe the door's attributes, whether it's open or closed, and if it's closed, whether it can be opened by pushing or turning a knob or pulling a handle. Door detection can also read signs and symbols around the door, like the room number of an office or the presence of an accessible entrance symbol. I'm also excited to announce a new feature for the deaf and hard of hearing community, live captions on iPhone, iPad, and Mac. With live captions, users can follow along more easily with any spoken audio content, whether they're on a phone or a FaceTime call, whether they're using any video conferencing app or social media app, streaming media content, or having a conversation with someone next to them in the same room. When live captions are used for calls on Macs, users have the option to type a response and have it spoken aloud in real time to others who are part of the conversation. And because live captions are generated on the device, all the user information stays private and secure. Door detection, live captions, and more Apple accessibility features will be released later this year. More information is available on our website at apple.com/accessibility. Thank you.
Thanks very much for that update. So next on our list is the ARC.
Hi, for some reason I'm unable to share my video, but my name is Katie Schmid. I'm with the ARC of the United States. My pronouns are she, her. Quick update for me is that we are in our 5th year of implementing tech coaching centers across the country. We currently have 6 chapters that offer coaching to support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities to learn how to use technology, whatever technology that they need to assist them to meet a specific goal. And then we also are working to revamp our main website, thearc.org, to become more cognitively accessible. So those have been our main focuses. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Katie. AT&T is next.
Hi, this is Linda Vanderloop, AT&T. AT&T has always believed that accessibility needs to be a part of everything we do, and we're continually looking for ways to improve our processes. In 2020, we began requiring that requiring the inclusion of our universal design and accessibility clause for information and communications technology being purchased or licensed by AT&T. And this clause requires that new technology, whether used in a product or by an employee tool, that it be accessible. As far as products, we build accessibility into our product process from the very onset of the project. The project teams begin by submitting their projects to AT&T's accessibility intake tool and responding to several questions. If it is determined that the project will have potential accessibility issues to address, then the project is automatically moved to AT&T's accessibility navigator, which goes into detailed questions about the product, identifies what accessibility issues and requirements need to be considered, and also gives examples of how to possibly address them. And so we follow that through the project to make sure all accessibility issues are identified and addressed in the beginning of that project. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the projects. I think we can talk specifics at a different time. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Next is Bridge Multimedia Corporation.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt Kaplowitz from Bridge Multimedia. My pronouns are he, him. I would like to thank the Commission for this opportunity to present. Under Bridge Multimedia's third consecutive OSEP Technology Access Grant, we've just completed the first ever school year in which blind, deafblind, and visually impaired students have participated in an audio description-centric workforce development program. These students have had paid employment as reviewers and evaluators of audio described programming. We are hoping this cohort of students from the New York Institute for Special Education can move the process forward towards the employment as blind audio description writers and blind audio description narrators. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Cerebral Palsy and Deaf Organization. Oh, okay. No update there. City of Boston.
Hi, this is Carl Richardson. So the City of Boston Disability Office is working on a number of things disability related, but things that the FCC that are similar to the FCC mission, two things we are working on. One is in the areas of closed captioning. During the pandemic, we realized that it was more crucial than ever for members of the deaf, hard of hearing community to have access to critical information. So a city councilor had proposed a bill that all places of public accommodation, if asked, will be mandated to turn on closed caption. And that's going through the process right now. And if that passes, the City of Boston will also do an outreach campaign to all the places such as restaurants, bars, hospitals, to teach them that it is readily achievable and not an undue burden. The other thing is very similar to the FCC Affordable Connectivity Program. We want to make sure that the residents of Boston can also afford internet services, and the telecommunications department within the City of Boston has conducted several hearings with the residents of Boston, and we are awaiting a report to see what depth the City of Boston can use to also make the internet affordable to all its residents. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Clear captions.
Hi, thank you. Give me 1 second here. All right. So Clear Captions is an IPCS provider. We offer both a home desk phone as well as a mobile app for iPhones and iPads. We've really been focused on working with seniors that have aged into hearing loss. This is a very fluid group with new individuals aging into their hearing loss on a daily basis. And in fact, studies have shown that isolation and loneliness have a severe impact on those seniors' overall health. Our company's goal is to help these seniors stay connected and independent. And this has never been more crucial than it has through the COVID pandemic and all of the isolation and loneliness individuals are experiencing. This requires a massive outreach effort. We have to help educate these seniors on the service. They're unfamiliar with the technology and what relay services are. And it's also really critical as they're seniors that the products are extremely easy to use. It can't be complicated. They just want it to caption their calls and easily understand how to use it. Towards helping that, the company has spent significant resources on developing what we've called Odin AI. It's basically our own artificial intelligence that monitors an IPCTS phone call, scoring the captioning accuracy on that call in real time to determine whether or not automatic speech recognition or maybe a live communication assistant, which would be better for that call. and seamlessly in the background make that switch so that the customer's always getting the best service they can. This has been a major initiative for our company. We've spent a ton of resources in developing it and making sure that for our customers, who again are seniors, it has to be a simple solution, doesn't require thought from them, and is extremely accurate as possible for every call, because there are calls where ASR may not do as well as a live CA. Instead of putting the burden on the consumer to figure out when that happens, we do it for them behind the scenes and make the transition through quality-based routing as necessary. But that's really, we focused on seniors. Seniors are a vast majority of who we serve, and they're a large portion of the population. So thank you.
Wonderful, thanks. Comcast and NBCU is next.
Hi, everybody. Tom Ludkowski here from Comcast NBCU. And I'm not sure if other alternates are here as well.
Yes, this is Angela Ball. Tom, we are giving highlights from the organization that we've been working on with respect to accessibility. I can lead or you can.
Go for it.
So I would say, and Tom, I'll defer to Tom on this, but Comcast has accessibility at the forefront of a lot of what we do. In addition to the X1 remotes that we offer, Comcast customers who use accessibility services like closed captioning and audio description have dedicated customer support teams and centers for customers with disabilities. Additionally, Xfinity customers using ASL have access to dedicated support teams through ASL support centers. I would say on the NBCU side, some highlights for us is our recent coverage of both the summer and winter games. We had for the winter games in February, 2,800 hours of coverage, a lot of which was offered using closed captioning. Additionally, we had audio description for our opening and closing ceremonies, as well as our primetime coverage. We continue to make live audio description a priority, including the upcoming July 4th special for the fireworks, and going into the fall, we typically offer coverage for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and I'm sure there are several other things I'm not thinking of right now, but we continue to, again, prioritize live audio description. Is there anything else you want to include, Tom?
Thanks, Angela. Yeah, I think the we recently launched a very affordable smart TV with accessibility built right in. So it's called X Class. You can purchase it today at Walmart. There are two screen sizes, I think 43 and 50 inch. Don't hold me to that exactly. And the lower screen size, smaller screen size is about $248. The higher screen size is $295. What's so unique about this is that we have taken we partnered with Hisense as the manufacturer, and we've taken the Xfinity software stack, the interface that customers have been using, like voice guidance, and our for a talking guide, and for other remote control shortcuts for closed captioning and all of that, and put it into a TV. So it gets us outside of our confined service footprint, and just the set-top box and into a TV. And we're bringing streaming apps into that experience as well. So the large streamers, I don't want to necessarily name them, you know who they are all part of that experience. And so that's something that we're going to be talking about at the summer conventions this year, and other things that I can't announce here, but that we're working on. So stay tuned. The holiday tree lighting is another one that has live AD that will continue this year as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom and Angela. Excellent. Next is Communication Services for the Deaf, CSD.
Good afternoon. Hello, I'm Julie Robinson, Vice President of Government Markets with CSD, or Communication Service for the Deaf. CST is a nonprofit social impact organization whose mission is to provide products, programs, and services that are designed to create opportunities for deaf people to succeed. We are very proud of CST's expansion of communication equity, with direct video calling being adopted by not only more businesses, but also by state governments like Minnesota's COVID-19 hotline and California's telecommunication access program for Californians with hearing, vision, mobility, cognitive, or speech-related disabilities. Also, CST has just expanded equal access to healthcare through our new telehealth initiative called Health Signs Virtual Care. This first of its kind program connects deaf and hard of hearing patients with deaf or ASL fluent healthcare providers, working to eliminate the healthcare disparities for the community when compared to hearing counterparts. You can check us out at csd.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Excellent. Convo Communications.
Yes, hello. So we have been seeing more companies and businesses really interested in becoming inclusive and accessible to their customers and also to their team members who are deaf or hard of hearing, and trying to figure out how to navigate through what the right solutions might be, whether it be VRS, VRI, or an on-site interpreter. And this varies, and they are overwhelmed during this, and all of the burden is on the deaf person. So what we're trying to do is partner with these companies to help them navigate what the right solution would be, and for us to possibly sponsor them and support them as well. So moving forward this summer, on Fridays and on Saturdays, Convo is providing on-site interpreters for Google stores in New York. So we don't have the exact, we have the details on our website as to when and where that will be. So if you're in New York, go ahead and check that out. And we are continuing to build our resources to help those who want to be inclusive and accessible figure out what the right solutions for them would be. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next is the Consumer Technology Association.
Hi, good afternoon again, everyone. David Grossman. I'm the Vice President of Regulatory Affairs at CTA, and filling in today for Rachel Nemeth. I think most people are familiar with CTA, but just a reminder, we represent over 1,500 companies across the consumer technology sector, and notably, 80% of those companies are small businesses. CTA has a long history of working closely with accessibility advocates, as well as facilitating direct dialogues between advocates and leaders from our industry. Two updates to share. Late last year, CTA was pleased to host many of those who are participating in today's meeting, along with policymakers at the CTA Innovation House on Capitol Hill, where we spotlighted very successful technologies, including TVs and tablets. And then in January, CTA was thrilled to once again welcome accessibility advocates and industry stakeholders for our CES Accessibility Roundtable. We've been doing these roundtables for several years as a way to facilitate dialogue between and among representatives of the accessibility community and industry. And along with that, it provides an opportunity to walk the show floor, to test out these features and provide real-time feedback to manufacturers. We're pleased to be able to participate in today's meeting, and thank you again.
Great, thank you. Was somebody trying to speak? Okay. So next on the list is Convo Communications. Oh, sorry. Okay. Got a little thrown out there. I think next on the list is CTIA. CTIA is next. Sorry about that, folks.
Hi there. This is Kara Graves with CTIA. I am a white woman with dark brown hair wearing a white and black dress. CTIA represents the US wireless industry for those who are not familiar with us. And we've been at the forefront of developing and deploying products and services that can enhance daily life for all consumers. As an update, I'll note that we recently highlighted for the Commission how our members continue to work to ensure that wireless products and services are accessible to all consumers, including those with disabilities. That includes the efforts by wireless equipment manufacturers to develop features and customizable options. And it also includes service providers who are rolling out 5G networks across the country to support enhanced services. We are pleased to see CGB recognize these efforts in the tentative findings for the CBAA report, but we also recognize, as Susie noted, that the work is never done. So in that vein, we continue to work with our members and with advocates to pursue technology and service enhancements to foster further ACS accessibility. We also continue to maintain and update accesswireless.org, which is intended as a one-stop shop for resources for people with disabilities as well as their caretakers on how to use and obtain accessible wireless devices and services. We also continue to regularly bring together our partners across industry and advocates, including through our Accessibility Outreach Initiative. And we're rounding out our years-long partnership across industries and the advocate community, including a number of folks at the meeting, to explore hearing aid compatibility enhancements for wireless handsets. So I'll say thank you there, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time.
Excellent. Thank you. Next is Deafblind Citizens in Action.
This is Divya. 1 second. Hi, this is Divya speaking. And we at DBCA, we have been doing a lot of work with different technologies. We've been doing some work with education in deaf and blind schools. And we've also been working on health education and accessibility, as far as how healthcare can provide education for children, all the way up to senior citizens, the whole range. As far as accessibility with communication, whether that means bringing a live interpreter in instead of using VRI, because a lot of deafblind individuals, I mean, it depends on their hearing loss, it depends on their sight. And so we need that accessibility, and sometimes that's not possible with technology. Most deafblind people do prefer having a live interpreter. And that really helps with different modes of communication, whether it's very close-sighted or tactile. And VRI tends to be an extremely small screen, and some people can't see that. Or they have issues and they cannot look at the screen. Also, if there's, for example, a surgery, or if someone is under anesthesia, that is not going to work with VRI because they are not going to be able to see clearly or whatever to use that technology. So we have been working on healthcare and health education. We've been, we have the same idea as a DAC. We have a meeting that's quarterly as well. And we're working with health departments and advising them about different options. We're also, like I said, working in the education department and helping kids in school. There's been a lot of concern because kids have been at home learning, and the accessibility as far as IEPs and catching kids up from COVID has been really hard. And education is so specific for these kids, and it's been hard with the technology. So we need to have those advocates out there and working through IDEA and OSEP, all the different government agencies as well. So we're working through some schools for student success is the goal. For education access, and deafblind kids, they don't have full access right now. So now we are working on NDB, EDP as well, and how we can provide services through all the 50 states, because some states still don't provide full access. They have maybe one thing of equipment, that's it, not many. Other states have 3 different options, but we're working to make sure that's all equal regardless of what state they're in. And we also need good trainers. There's also budget concerns, but deafblind folks who don't, sometimes they don't get that equipment, and then they don't have the full access that they need. And sometimes the proof that's required for qualifying for those programs is intense, and people are getting turned down that shouldn't be. And there are some senior citizens that are getting turned down as well, and they struggle with technology, which is also very tough. We need something that's simple. And someone who lives alone and is housebound has a really hard time accessing these technologies. So in general, deafblind people, there's just so many different ones. For myself, I'm deafblind, and I'm also very isolated. I'm at home a lot. And with technology being limited and finances being limited, it's very challenging. It can feel overwhelming of all the limits. And so that's what we've been working on right now at DBCA. And we are trying to work to get more technology advocates that can really help people confront all these issues. As far as, like I said, in education, and then really advocating for individuals who are deafblind all the way through. And it is still a struggle and has been. There are a lot of issues for this community, and we continue to work on that. I know Apple has been doing a lot of work, and Verizon as well, and some other cell phone services. They still need some work too. And healthcare, I think, is definitely a huge area that needs it, because there are a lot of different issues involved. And we've been involved with trying to get access in these different areas. And then how to actually do that and implement those is tough. And it, of course, is dependent on each individual's needs.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay, so the next organization here is DCAPTA.
Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, my name is Judy Matthews, and I am the alternate for DCAPTA. Dr. Maria Victoria Diaz couldn't be here today, so I'm filling in for her. So DCAPTA has been working on using technology to improve media access. Through the All4Access repository, we are creating the possibility of reusing and sharing accessibility assets stored in the repository, while at the same time we're making it easy for the audience to use those assets regardless of how they watch the content. That's pretty exciting. We are also working with filmmakers to make them more aware of the need to consider accessibility since the inception of their productions. We participated in the Ibero-American Film Festival last November, and there we delivered a workshop for filmmakers and presented several movies in Spanish with full accessibility. So we were able to raise awareness there. So just have one more thing. I know the minute has passed. We have started accessible watch parties in Spanish that are now held monthly at the Mexican consulate in Los Angeles, and the last Friday of the month through Latinos for Access Facebook group. And we have movies with accessibility there. So that is, I know my time is up, so thank you for the opportunity and the opportunity to be here and let you know what we've been working on.
Excellent, thank you, Judy. Okay, next is Hamilton Relay.
Good afternoon. I'm Beth Slough, the Director of Account Management and Compliance at Hamilton Relay. It's my honor to serve with you all again on DAC. Hamilton Relay has been providing accessibility to telecommunication services through its relay and caption telephone services for over 30 years. Throughout this time, we continue to bring technology choices to our consumers that are geared towards enhancing the quality of life for people with hearing loss. I'm excited to share with you several highlights on our newest accessibility features. We have recently added auto captions for captioned telephone calls, where consumers have the choice between an operator-generated assisted caption or computer-generated auto captions. We also have made some improvements to our remote conference captioning or RCC features, including embedded captions where text is embedded right into an app, such as a Zoom call, and our new mobile CapTel app, which allows users to use their mobile device to place and receive calls with captions. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Hearing Loss Association of America.
Hello again, this is Lisa Hamlin with Hearing Loss Association of America. We have first wanted to thank again the FCC for continuing with the DAC. We really appreciate the work that's done here, not only by all the people who are in companies and the organizations involved, but also by the FCC. So thank you first for that. Then we have many areas we're working on. Some of them are, we're very involved with hearing aid accessibility of wireless phones. We're working on a task force on that. We're really involved and excited to see what's going to come of that. We hear a lot from our constituents about inaccessibility of video platforms and telemedicine, as was mentioned earlier by one of the other organizations. It's really needed to be able to access video platforms, particularly with COVID, but we think that's going to go forward. We're going to still be working with video platforms. We'd like to see them accessible. IPCTS captioning, caption phones. We're still hopeful that we'll have quality standards and measurable standards for all caption phones, regardless of how they're produced. And we're working with the FCC on that. And captioning altogether on television, what's going on in television, and captioning moving over to the internet. We're still hearing a lot from our constituents, and we're working on accessibility and ensuring quality for that as well. So thank you very much. Try to make it brief.
Thanks so much. IBM.
Hello again, it's Mary Jo Mueller with IBM. So as many folks know, IBM has a very long history in the accessibility space, and accessibility is an important aspect for IBM products. We currently have our product accessibility conformance reports publicly available on our website for anybody to access, so you can make informed procurement decisions. We are actively working in accessibility standards and contribute to the development of worldwide harmonized standards. If you, like, for example, if you look on W3C, you can see our folks are very active there. Our IBM accessibility team is currently focusing on improvements to our public guidance and tools that you can find on the Equal Access Toolkit website. It's www.ibm.com/able/toolkit, all one word, toolkit. This toolkit is focused mainly on web accessibility, but we have an accessibility checker, which is open source for auditors and developers to automatically test, do accessibility testing of their web content. And it's available in browser plugins as well as node-based tools to incorporate into your build process. These tools help developers identify and debug accessibility bugs in their web-based code. And since we released that a couple of years ago, we've had about 1.2 million downloads, so it's doing pretty good. Some of the recent updates, and it's free and available to anybody who wants to use it. So we've been making improvements to the checker rules to make sure that the checks are working well with the current standards. We've had some usability updates, and later this year we hope to make keyboard accessibility testing easier. So looking forward to that. And recently we've updated our designer guidance in the toolkit to help designers learn about design considerations for accessibility. We provide good and bad illustrations, and we recently released a new design kit, which is an add-on. It's available for Sketch and Figma, and it helps designers easily learn about accessibility and incorporate accessibility considerations into their design workflow. And that's all I have for now.
Thanks very much. InnoCaption?
Hi, thank you. So for those of you who may not be familiar, InnoCaption is a smartphone app which is available on Apple and Android devices, and it provides captions of phone calls for individuals who are deaf and hard of hearing. We provide InnoCaption users the ability to choose whether they would like to get captions of their call through cart captioning, like you're seeing on today's meeting, or automatic speech recognition, computerized captions. Today, I'm excited to share with you some updates to InnoCaption features, but I have 30 seconds left, so I'm going to make this quick. InnoCaption users are now able to make outgoing calls directly from their computer browsers by logging into their InnoCaption account from our website. Making calls directly from the browser makes this even more accessible to low vision individuals in the community. We have also launched a limited text-to-speech feature for those individuals who have trouble interacting with automated systems. For example, my dad, when he calls an automated system, would say, "Oh, representative." And the system says, "I'm sorry, I don't understand. Can you try again?" Now, with the limited text-to-speech feature, our users are able to just type representative or account balance and hit send to help navigate that system until they get to a live human being who they are able to talk to. And that is my time. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. National Association for State Relay Administration, NASRA.
Hello, my name is Travis Doherty, and I'm with the National Association for State Relay Administration. I am a Caucasian male with a blue button-up shirt, and I have the Maryland Relay logo and a blue background behind me. So I do have an alternate with me. I have Becky with me, Rosenthal, and NASRA has been very active for the past year. We have been implementing and standing up deaf-blind communications facilitation programs where we send people to help mediate calls in person if they have any meetings online or any phone calls that they need to make. And so we've implemented those programs. And just recently, we added in a deaf-blind VRS service, and we are working with a particular organization to be able to set that up within the state of Maryland. And next, also, we have set up a task force that is focusing on rapidly reducing the analog services within the telephones, with captions with telephones. So we are collecting data to develop and report to the FCC, hopefully by the end of this year, and we will be able to share our concerns with the FCC. That is what we've been up to as of late. And also, finally, we will have a conference in 3 weeks in person. For the last 3 weeks, or the last 3 years, we have not done that. So we're very looking forward to this conference in person in the next 3 weeks. Thank you.
Thanks very much for that update. Next is the National Association of Broadcasters.
And one more thing, I just wanted to say one
no
more
problem.
thing. I forgot to mention this. I'm so sorry about that. I just wanted to add one more thing. This is Travis. So we did have a working group previously, and it was with the telecommunications relay on video conferencing platforms. And we were inspired by that and made progress in establishing a new relay service called Caption Relay Service. So it is almost like RCC, but it's 2 ways. And that's able to bring the TTY functionality to video conferencing such as Zoom. So that's what we're working on now and making progress. And it's a test idea. We're testing different ideas. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Excellent. Appreciate that update. NAB, National Association of Broadcasters.
Hello, hello. This is Josh Pila on behalf of NAB. Thank you very much to the FCC and the chairs for inviting us to have this discussion. NAB has been very active in the DAC working group on IPCC, and we plan to continue and excited for the results of that working group. But generally, NAB at its April convention hosted 2 captioning forums with outside vendors. And we're able to talk about AI captions and a guide to inclusion and modernizing the reach of broadcasters, which were well attended, and that gave an opportunity to talk about captioning within the NAB convention in April in Las Vegas. In addition, along with our friends at Vitech, we published an article in the NAB Amplify, which is I think what you would used to call a newsletter, but is now more of our marketing materials that go to our members through blogs, social media, and other methods. But in NAB Amplify, a discussion about captioning, what resources it requires, and how to best make video accessible. And we thank our friends at Vitech for their help with that. In addition, NAB continues to provide considerable time and effort in helping our members with compliance on captioning and audio description. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Josh. Excellent. Next is NAD, National Association of the Deaf.
Hello, this is Zainab with the National Association of the Deaf. I'd like to give a visual description first. I'm an Arab American woman with curly shoulder-length hair, glasses, and a black shirt with a bit of see-through lace here on top, and also a black jacket. I'm here in my home office with a bookshelf behind me. The NAD has a few initiatives presently, but I will give a brief summary, just spotlighting one. Many of you already know that the NAD recently sued or is currently in litigation with SiriusXM, which is the largest streaming platform. So with disability rights advocates, we went forward with this litigation, and we're seeking for them to increase their overall accessibility of their platforms. That is the preferred outcome of that litigation. We also have several position statements that we are in development right now that should be released soon. The first should be released in about 2 weeks, so do keep an eye out for that. The other one will be released a few weeks after that as well. We will be able to share that in a few weeks. Lastly, happening this week is NAD's conference, which will be in person. It's been a long time since we've had an in-person conference, but we are looking forward to seeing a number of you there. Looking forward to see you in 3D instead of in 2D. With that, that's my time. Thank you so much. I will hand it back to you.
Thanks. Excellent. Next, National Black Deaf Advocates, NBDA.
Is that my turn? Are you handing it over to me?
Yes.
All right. All right, NBDA. We have been working on creating outreach materials that we have been setting up. We just launched something in California and in Nevada, as well as in Massachusetts and Delaware, with the goal of continuing to disseminate information, outreach information to our members. We are also planning on sending out affordable connectivity program information soon. We're also working with our Deaf Association members to really engage and coordinate on topics important to the deaf community. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Okay. Nina, National Emergency Number Association. I see Richard has provided an update in the chat. I could read that. Should I read it?
This is Richard speaking.
Oh, sorry, Richard.
Can you hear me now? Okay,
Yeah,
great. I am going to go ahead and read that. However, I just wanted to say, first of all, this is Richard Ray with the National Emergency Numbering Association, also called NINA. It's wonderful to be here with you all. I'm here in New Orleans with a conference in regards to 911 that will take place tomorrow. However, at NINA, we have our annual conference, which was 2 weeks ago here at Louisville, Kentucky. It was wonderful to have this gathering in person. I wanted to go through, but first of all, NINA's vision is to have the public be made safer by 911 services delivered by highly trained emergency communications professionals and powered by the latest technologies. Now, this discussion topic was addressed during the conference. As of February 2021, the United States has 5,748 primary and secondary public safety answering points, which is also called PSAPs. And approximately 1/3 of those PSAPs have already implemented text to 911. Text to 911 using short message service, also called SMS, is critical for everyone, including individuals who are deaf, deafblind, hard of hearing, or have speech disabilities, as well as individuals who may be in domestic violence, hostage situations, or active shooting situations, and a voice call to 911 is not recommended. Education and outreach efforts need to be made to the public regarding the availability of text to 911 in their area, which may help reduce the risk of losing lives when a crime is in process and the caller is facing domestic abuse, or if the caller is injured and cannot speak, or other scenarios. So we are encouraging education throughout the community for the ability to text 911 if that is a feature available in their area. Thank you.
Wonderful. Next is the National Federation of the Blind, NFB.
Hi, this is Everett Bacon with the National Federation of the Blind. I'm excited to report that the National Federation of the Blind led a coalition of organizations urging the White House to come up with an accessible version of the free COVID home tests. And last week, the White House rolled that program out. We were excited to lead the charge on that. We've also been partnering with Warner Entertainment and HBO Max specifically on a way that individuals can report accessibility and AD issues directly to HBO Max. And you can do that now by sending an email to adsupport@hbomax.com. And then lastly, our national convention, we will have over 2,000 blind and low vision individuals in attendance in New Orleans, July 5th through the 10th. Will be taking place. There's also a virtual component, so if you can't be in person, you can attend virtually. And at that convention, we'll have many different things, but one thing that is interest to the FCC and all of you is that we will have a panel discussion on audio description, and specifically audio description as an art form and a part of the creative process. That will be an exciting panel discussion. We'll also be offering a screening of Stranger Things by Netflix, which will be all in audio description and closed captioning for over 300 people in attendance at one of the theaters in downtown New Orleans. That's my report. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Everett. Excellent. Next is NCTA, the Internet and Television Association.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulty. It's Kyle Dixon again on behalf of NCTA, representing cable operators that provide multi-channel cable video service and broadband service, as well as programming companies that provide the television you're used to seeing. I gave an update before about our work with the IP closed captioning working group. So that is the bulk of what we've been focused on. More generally, NCTA's members are committed to providing all consumers with the best possible experience, and we've devoted significant resources to advancing accessibility goals. As I mentioned, we represent both operators and programmers, and we continue to invest in new technologies to better serve consumers, and are also making described and captioned programming available in a widening array of live and on-demand formats on an increasing number of device platforms. The familiar TV everywhere sort of phenomenon. So we look forward to continuing to work with everyone, and very glad to be here.
Oh, thank you. That's excellent. Next is the Perkins School for the Blind.
Hi, I'm Kristen Lee. I'm a program manager for ICANN Connect at Perkins. Susie Rosen Singleton gave a great overview of the ICANN Connect National Deafblind Equipment Distribution Program. And I just want to add to that on the website, in addition to all of the contact information and application information, there are some personal notes from consumers on how the program equipment and training has helped them to access community resources and keep in touch with family and friends, and the impact that it's had during the pandemic and the increased isolation. So those really underscore the value of the program. And I also want to say that Marcia Brooks, who has been the director of ICANN Connect at Perkins for the first 10 years of the program, and she also served on the first term of the DAC and is currently my alternate. She's retiring, and Dan Caterino will be the new director to start the 11th year of the program. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Okay. Sorensen Communications.
Hi, I'm Mike Maddox with Sorensen. And as Elliot mentioned, since we last met, Aerial Alternatives became the majority owner of Sorensen. And Aerial has changed the culture at Sorensen. They brought to the table a long-term commitment to supporting diversity, building wealth in underserved communities, including the Black community, Latinx, and deaf and hard of hearing communities. Aerial has initiated a refocus for Sorensen on improving access to the deaf and hard of hearing populations everywhere. There's been some recent developments in Puerto Rico that we're particularly proud of. Additionally, Sorensen has named its first C-level executive, bringing real-world experience. Lance Pickett has been named as our Chief Relationships Officer at Sorensen. There are other exciting events underway. We've recently announced a strategic partnership with Gallaudet University. We have reinvigorated our commitment to improving 911 services and implementing NG 911. We've been named one of the Forbes Best Employers for Diversity in 2022. And we've done some fun things like integration of ASL into Microsoft's Xbox Twitch channel. We are excited about the changes that Ariel's brought to Sorensen, and we think we're going to have many exciting things to offer to our communities. Take a look at our press page. There's a lot of fun things happening and important things happening, and you can keep a pulse on what we're doing there. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next is TDI, Telecommunications for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing.
Thanks. This is Blake Reed. Appreciate both to the FCC and to the chairs of the DAC and of the subcommittee for the ongoing opportunity to collaborate and work on these issues and be part of the esteemed group here today. As folks are no doubt aware, TDI continues to work hard and advocate, including with many of the folks on the call today on a wide range of video programming and communications accessibility issues, including closed captioning, display settings, equality standards, the coverage of internet delivered programming, next generation video conferencing, accessibility, relay interconnectivity, direct video calling, IPCTS metrics and standards, access to communications in carceral facilities, accessible communications, I should say, real-time text, network and device accessibility, and many more, and appreciate the opportunity to work with many of you on those issues. Rather than elaborate in any more detail, because I know we're all ready to get out of here, I would just underscore TDI is hiring a director of policy advocacy. I'll post a link to the job posting in the chat, and if there are folks in your networks for whom that might be an interesting position, we'd welcome your support in passing that along and getting the word out. Thanks very much.
Wonderful. Okay, next is T-Mobile.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Shelley Blakeney with T-Mobile. At T-Mobile, we are committed to providing our customers with an excellent wireless experience. The company offers an array of products and services in support of accessible telecommunications. Information about our more recent expansion of service offerings can be found on our website, tmobileaccess.com and t-mobile.com/accessibility. I wish to highlight a few items. T-Mobile's next generation 5G network is demonstrating improved data speeds that assist with device functionality, such as lower latency, to better support real-time communication. The company Halo launched one of the first commercial driverless car services in the US, running on the T-Mobile 5G network in Las Vegas. In addition, the company New Eyes has become a channel partner with T-Mobile, joining the Business Partner Program. New Eyes offers a line of connected augmented reality smart glasses. The partnership will expand the range of connectivity for end users, thus enhancing their experience with this wearable. Our longstanding commitment to diversity and inclusion keeps getting stronger. We are proud that T-Mobile has been named a leading disability employer by the National Organization on Disability and received a 100% score on Disability In's Equality Index for several years now. Finally, I'd like to mention that our internal employee resource group, Accessibility Community at T-Mobile, or ACT, ACT, supports employees while generally broadening understanding and awareness about the unique talents and abilities of all of our employees. Thank you for the time.
Thanks, Shelley. Appreciate it. Next is the Trace Research and Development Center.
Hello, I'm Baron Jordan from the Trace Research and Development Center at the University of Maryland, and I'll just list a few of the research threads that we're working on right now. So one thread is artificial intelligence and machine learning for people with disabilities, and we're focusing on human in the loop, machine learning, teachable machines, and the ethics of artificial intelligence. Another research project is co-design and co-research with people with mild to moderate dementia and their use of technology. Third project is tools and standards for detecting and characterizing risks of photosensitive epilepsy in videos. A further research project is web accessibility and PDF document accessibility and tools to help improve the creation of accessible sites and documents. And finally, another project is an open source software tool for making accessibility features of computers easier to use and adjusting and transferring assistive technology and usability settings for computers. This tool is called Morphic. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much. Next is Verizon Communications. Okay, no problem, no problem. ZP Better Together.
Hello there, this is Mark Stern. I am from ZP Better Together, and I'm the administrator of the product management. As the visual description, for visual description, I'm a Caucasian middle-aged man with gray hair and a white beard, and I have on a gray shirt. I'm sitting in my home office with a backdrop behind me, and my pronouns are he, his, and him. Greg Leibach is on vacation this week, so I am the alternate. For those of you who are not familiar with ZP, we are the leading provider of video relay services and video remote interpreting services and on-site interpreting services. And also, we were just named as one of the best places to work for disability inclusion, and we received the top percentage for Disability Equality Index for 2021. We have been working to create a more technological choices for our consumers for VRS and VRI in terms of devices specifically. So for example, a thank you to the innovation collaboration between Meta and ZP. We have a VRS platform. So we have a pool of devices from Facebook.
Our services are available on Portal through Facebook.
And there are other devices available as well through VRS and VRI. And so we have Web RTC available. And that is, go ahead, Amy. So that is Cloud VP. So both are well received by our consumers. And then lastly, what I'd like to mention is in anticipation of July 16th deadline, we are updating and renovating what we have in terms of 988 dialing to reach and connect to the suicide prevention and mental health crisis counselors through VRS. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share what we've been doing with ZP.
Thanks very much. So before I turn to our DAC ex officio federal government representatives, I just want to make sure that I didn't skip anyone. I know at one point I had my own list out of order alphabetically. How embarrassing for me. But I think we've got everybody. Is there anyone, any DAC members that did not speak, that organizations that did not speak? ACB has raised their hand. Clark?
Thank you, Brian. Hi, all. This is Clark Rockfall with the American Council of the Blind, and apologies for missing my opportunity earlier. Just quick update for ACB and the American Council of the Blind. Our advocacy work continues to ensure that consumers may have access to the information, communication and technology of their choosing. We are active in the video conferencing docket, as well as working with the commission and our partners to highlight the innovations in and expand access to accessible user interfaces for advanced communication services, including access to video user interfaces for video programming. And at the ACB conference and convention, July 1st to 8th, we will also be, they've already been announced, but we will be sharing the Audio Description Project Awards. And a couple items here I'd like to highlight. The ADP Award for Individuals in Media go to audio describers Norma Jean Wick and Tony Ambrosio for audio describing the Summer and Winter Olympics and Paralympics with live audio description, even though this is not required by the FCC's regulations. We're glad that many of our partners in the media and programming space are providing live audio description. And then the Barry Levine Career Achievement Award in audio description goes to Mark Turitz from Paramount Global. And we're very excited for their work to audio describe nearly all of their primetime lineup of programming, as well as most recently live audio description for the Tony Awards. And for those interested, the second annual Audio Description Awards Gala will be held virtually on Tuesday, November 29th. Thank you.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you. So we have our ex officio federal government representatives and would love to hear from you all too. U.S. Access Board.
Hi, Bruce Bailey, United States Access Board. I'll mention two technology-oriented items from the spring regulatory agenda, the unified agenda. The first is progress with our advanced notice of proposed rulemaking related to self-service transaction machines, electronic kiosks. So please be looking for that in the next couple months. And then secondly is a notice of proposed rulemaking also under the ADA for parking related to electric vehicles. We'll be putting out some guidance documents prior to that, and then an NPRM we've announced for later in the calendar year. Thank you very much.
It seems that we're having some tech issues here. I guess oh, Brian is back up. Here we go. All right, you are back.
Yeah.
All right, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thanks. Apologies, folks. There I think I just had a momentary connectivity issue. Definitely on my end. So I don't know if Isidore, you had just started to do this, but the next ex officio member, U.S. Department of Education.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brianne Berger for the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Special Education Rehabilitation Services. I am a white woman with brown curly hair, and I have a black shirt on with a black jacket. I'm not being creative today. Sorry about that. My background is a brick wall with a white wall to the other side. I'm pleased to share that the U.S. Department of Education has been very active over the last year, and I will try to summarize everything that we've been doing, but really I have noted all of our grants that are here on this. So I'm sure many of you are already very familiar with them and have been keeping an eye out on what's going on with the Department of Education. I do have a few things I'd like to share today. We have a huge funding opportunity, some funding directly from the White House to focus specifically on teachers for the areas, particularly of deafblind users. Providing more teachers and teachers' aides in that context, we've really noticed that that is a area of severe potential, so that is coming up. We also have several other grants to address teacher shortages in general. We have grant opportunities for expanding audio description and closed captioning, etc., for many different programs, as well as interpreting services in OSEP. And also, we're very excited about all of these different opportunities that are happening at this point. We are having two public events that I wanted to spotlight right here. Attempting to protect rights for persons with disabilities, specifically for those rights under Section 504. That is very critical to have public comment on that, and that public comment period is open presently. The second is for Title IX, which celebrated 50 years of Title IX this year. We're also welcoming public comment on that. We also hosted a lot of meetings and sessions, so please do follow the U.S. Department of Education, because we will send out a lot of news that's happening within our agency. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you. Next is the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, this is Lisa Bothwell with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, particularly the Administration for Community Living. I am a white woman with short brown hair. I am wearing a black jacket and a blue shirt, and I have a background with the ACL logo. So I'm trying to prioritize because we do have so many things going on, but let me prioritize two. First of all, 2 years ago, when COVID started spreading, HHS established a public health emergency, a PHE. PHE has several required changes to policies and so forth. However, we've also added additional rules and regulations since. One thing that a PHE basically says is that states cannot ban people from CHIP, C-H-I-P. And so a PHE, that PHE is still continued to this day. We don't know when that will come to an end. However, when that does come to an end, it means that states will have to go back and review to see who is still eligible for those programs for Medicaid and CHIP. So the announcement in that space really is that at some point, well, also CMS, which is Centers for Medicaid and Medicare, which is CMS, they posted some more information on medicaid.gov. The other thing I wanted to talk about, the other announcement I have, is that Biden and the Harris administration just announced distributed accessible testing for people who are blind or low vision. So if there is still a limited supply, however, it does require Bluetooth connectivity to your phone, or I should say Bluetooth compatible smartphone is what is required to be able to use this test. You can order it at http://special, let me find it here just to make sure I'm telling you correctly. USPS.com/testing kits/accessible. Or you can call 800-322-023. Please understand that the testing supplies are limited, so please just be warned of that. You can only receive them if you do need them. If you have any additional questions or want help with testing, you can call a Disability Information Access line at DIAL. The phone number is 888-677-1199. And you can call Monday through Friday, 9 to 8, and email dial@usaginganddisability.org. If you want more information about ACL and what's currently happening at ACL, you can go to acl.gov/news-and-events/announcements. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Excellent. Next, and not least, but the last on our list is the Department of Homeland Security, FEMA.
Great, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Erin Kuby. I represent FEMA. I am a white man, salt and pepper hair and a beard. I'm wearing a wine-colored short sleeve shirt with a background that is my kitchen and a wall that has a painting and a record as a piece of art there. So really, the main points that I have now for FEMA is that we just distributed new updated app, which is pretty neat. We just updated it with more modern accessibility options. And it has some very cool features. You can, for instance, put your name in and it will remember your name. You can put in where you live if you'd prefer Spanish or English. And you can also put up to 5 regions. So for instance, where you live, you can put in your zip code. You can put in the zip code for your family and friends in other counties and so forth. You can sign up for warning alerts, emergency information in that particular area. If you're in a disaster area, that zip code, you will be notified where your disaster recovery center is, your DRC, for that region, as well as additional emergency resources and important information that you may need. How you can reach out to FEMA for assistance and what you would need to do so, how you can contact us. There is a phone line, and there's also information about relay services available. So if you do need captions or video or another type of relay, please use that particular phone number so that we can contact you for direct service. The app also has a variety of information about different types of disasters and how to protect yourself, what you need to know, how to plan for them, and so forth. There's images there, as well as content. The content that is provided in plain language, and our goal is to make this as accessible as possible. So we are very glad to be a part of that and distributing this information. It is live. It is available on the Apple Store and also in the Google Play Store. You can download it to your iPhone as well as an Android device. So I do encourage you all to please now, in the middle of hurricane season and wildfire season, please protect yourself and encourage your friends and families to do so as well. It also has information about ready.gov, which lists out additional information about how to be prepared. And I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. So I think that exhausts our list, and I just can reflect for a second and say, thank you all for the updates, wonderful updates. Always love to learn what is on everyone's radar and what's important to you and what you see moving forward. I hope that both amongst the membership here of the DAC, but also for those from the public watching, that this might, inspire you or help you make some connections with some of the really innovative and leading orgs that are leaders in the disability access space. So with that, that concludes our agenda item for highlights from DAC membership organizations, and I should now turn it over to Isidore.
Thank you, Brian. I will now invite Josh Mendelson, who will lead public participation. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Isidore. It's great hearing from all of the different members and organizations, and also the ex officio participants, to catch up on your important work. Now we'd like to address public participation, that portion of today's meeting. This is an important way for us to involve the public and hear questions and concerns and have the opportunity to address those questions and concerns. The first question we've received has to do with ACP, the Affordable Connectivity Program. The person's name is Stephen Baker. He had a question. He says that he knows eligibility for ACP. He knows the general guidelines. However, a person he knows currently lives in a home with other tenants, and they do share the cost of internet service. So Stephen would like to know how this individual that he knows can use ACP to cover or lower their internet bill if they're sharing the bill amongst several tenants. And the answer is that the ACP is limited to 1 monthly service discount per household. And now household is defined as any individual or group of individuals who are living together in the same address and share income and expenses. To learn more and to find a household worksheet, please go to, and I'll warn you that this is quite a long link, but please go to affordable-connectivity.gov/do-I-qualify/what-is-a-household/. Or you can call the ACP helpline at 877-384-2575. If you're having issues with your provider involving this ACP Affordable Connectivity Program, you may want to file an informal consumer complaint with us. You can also ask questions. You can file a consumer complaint with us at www.fcc.gov/consumer complaints. The second question, or the second comment, I should say, that we have received is from Kimberly Shea, who's from Breaking Barriers Captioning Service. she wrote in to announce that her organization established the NER metric to measure caption quality and consists of consumers of captions and subject matter experts. They would like to engage in some of the discussions here at the DAC. And our response is that we want to thank you, Kimberly, for this comment. Captioning is a high priority topic for the Commission. While the comment period for the most recent captioning display settings proceeding has closed on March 4th, 2022, we still do welcome comments in the docket regarding captioning display settings. You may file comments by accessing our electronic comment filing system at www.fcc.gov/ECFS. Please do reference docket number MB docket number 12-108. Further, to be even more engaged with the DAC as a member, please do consider applying for the next term of the DAC if the DAC is indeed rechartered. Our term ends at the end of this year, and we are working on rechartering the DAC for an additional 2-year term, which would be 2023 to 2024. When we start the process, we will welcome or invite applications for members. And at that time, you can submit an application to become a member of the DAC. Please consider subscribing to our Access Info email listserv. We send out email blasts to be kept apprised about the DAC application process. You can send an email to accessinfo@fcc.gov. And that concludes this public participation portion of the meeting. We received only those 2 emails, questions and comments. So now I would like to turn it back over to Isidore, who even knew before I said his name. Take care.
This is Isidore Nyongabo, and I forgot to introduce myself or describe myself in the beginning. So I'm a Black male, and I have my hair back with a white shirt and a blue blazer on. And behind me, I have a white and gray blurred background. So I would like to thank everyone who attended this meeting, and for everyone who attended virtually, the public. I will be in communication with you as to when the next meeting will be. I will communicate the date via email. So I want to thank you again, and I will invite my co-chair, Brian, to come up and wrap us up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I too failed to describe myself at any point during this meeting, so I can do that really quick. I'm a white male with hair that used to be very red and is increasingly coppery and brown. So I'm fearful of where it's going next. But my background is blurred, but I'm sitting in my kids' playroom, which I have claimed one corner of to be my home office. If my screen was not blurred, you would see a kid's basketball hoop behind me. Anyway, enough jokes for me, I guess. I'm sure everyone's rolling on the floor laughing. But thank you all for today's meeting. Again, every one of these meetings is excellent. I think especially with the information sharing exercise that we went through, priorities and information sharing, I think was really, really helpful. And certainly just speaking for myself, I think that there was all kinds of ideas for ways to work together with the community, which is what the DAC is all about. I mean, I was starting to come up with ideas and thoughts about working together with others just from that. And I hope that you all were too, and as well as the updates. Thanks to everyone here for attending, the FCC staff, our interpreters. I think if people do want to turn their videos on and just wave goodbye while we adjourn the meeting, you're more than welcome to. I can wait a moment, I guess. Oh, great. Excellent. People are doing it. Well, thank you all. I'm waving too, and this meeting is adjourned.